If you open up Skyrim's Wikipedia page, the first sentence in the gameplay section reads, quote, "The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is an action role-playing game playable from either a first or third-person perspective." But what if I told you Skyrim is actually a second-person game? Your entire experience, no matter what camera you use, is all about the Dragonborn story, who you just happen to be controlling, not your own story specifically. Hey Siri, what is a second-person perspective?
Here's what I found from wikipedia.org. The second-person point of view is a point of view where the audience is made a character. This is done with the use of second-person pronouns like you.
Hey Siri, what is a first-person perspective?
A first-person narrative is a mode of storytelling, or a peripheral narrator in which a storyteller recounts events from their own point of view using the first-person eye.
So why does vanilla Skyrim's camera movement from the back of your head to the middle of your chest go from the Dragonborn murdered the chicken to you murdered the chicken? I mean, I'm the one who murdered the chicken, right? Simple answer, the second you press F, Skyrim is no longer a first or third person game, it's a second person game. So let's fix that with, of course, a few mods. Let's start off by making your first person experience, well, first person. This mod's a little overdone, so I'll try to speed through it, but just hang in there. We're going to install some mods later to improve it. Immersive first-person view brings the first-person camera from the middle of your chest up to your actual eyeballs. It gives you the ability to look down and see the body and the armor that you've crafted to be yours for the next 100 hours of your 100th playthrough. It does more than let you look down and see your body, though. It gives you a first-person view to see every single thing that you decide to do in the game. You now have a first-person perspective while doing things like crafting.
Whatever you need. Buy smear if it's simple and strong.
Riding your horse. And even something as simple as sitting in a chair. Now that we can see in first person, let's have a conversation about conversations. Dragonborn Speaks Naturally is a mod that I promise you is going to change your life. It adds speech recognition to Skyrim. The mod will let you use your computer speech recognition to interact with your game. For example, you can have an entire conversation with an NPC without touching your mouse and keyboard. What brought you to Skyrim?
The Horkers, my friend. The Horkers. I can't get enough of a good bowl of Horker stew.
What a strange
Fresh
reason
garlic,
to come to a new country.
tomatoes, a sprinkle of lavender.
Well, I don't like that. It could use some carrots, maybe some minced onions.
You keep talking like that, and we'll need to get you an apron and a chef hat.
This is so
Also
uncomfortable.
Horkers.
You're in the wrong place. Riverwood isn't exactly the Horker capital of Skyrim.
That's it. You see, I've tried stews of all different flavors from all over Tamriel.
You can also use your voice to summon items that are in your favorites menu by simply saying what item that you want and in what hand you want it to be in. And finally, to top it all off, this mod lets you add your own custom voice commands by editing an INI file. Check this out.
I can tell you're no stranger to the wilds. I'm sure we can meet your hunting needs.
Fuck you, Nazim. It worked!
I'll be happy to assist you if you'd like to purchase
I
something.
can't believe that worked. Oh my god. These days, a face-to-face conversation is something that's kind of difficult to come by. Alright guys, let's get to the new mod episode pitches. Nazim, we'll go ahead and start with you. Nazim, you're muted. You gotta turn your mic. We can't hear you. Just unmute your mic. Oh my god, this meeting's gonna take forever. Thankfully, Skyrim lets us escape reality and we can hate Nazim in person. Oblivion Camera will give you a true face-to-face experience when talking to NPCs. The mod is a preset for the alternate conversation camera. It mimics a more Oblivion-esque look to a conversation by zooming in and focusing on the person that you're actually talking to. But hey, let's be honest, these people are not exactly the greatest conversationalists in the world. Thankfully, we can fix that with a couple of mods to make conversations actually matter. Interesting NPCs looks to add a little life to the dirty streets of Skyrim. Here's what you can expect. Over 250 new fully voiced NPCs, each with their own backstory, extensive dialogue trees that add depth, humor, and real choices to their conversations. There are at least 25 new followers and 50 plus new quests to delve into. The mod Relationship Dialogue Overhaul is a perfect complement to interesting NPCs. It adds over 5,000 voiced dialogue lines to NPCs already in your game. It unlocks existing dialogue that, for some reason, was never used before. Friends talk to you more like friends, and NPCs who don't like you, well, they really don't like you. But let's face it, Bethesda did not do a good job with first-person animations in this game. So let's download a few quality-of-life animation mods just really quickly. First-person magic animations makes it look like your character is actually struggling to contain the power that they utilize as a weapon. Your hands shake now when you're holding a spell back before releasing it. You force continuous elemental spells away from you with a straighter, more forceful stance, and healing spells have more graceful animations. Master spell animations feel even more powerful, slamming your spell with both hands into the ground. The mod that gave me the idea for this video is called First Person Combat Animations Overhaul. It's the mod creator's first ever mod, and it adds 40 plus new animations to swords, axes, maces, daggers, etc. to add a more weighted and realistic feeling to attacking enemies. Weapons actually feel like they have weight. You're no longer swinging through enemies, you are cutting and slicing them, and other weapons like maces and axes will actually feel like they are hacking and crushing. But my final and favorite animation mod is appropriately called Animations. You know how in Red Dead Redemption 2, when you loot something, you actually go and physically loot it? Well, that's basically what this does for Skyrim. Everything from looting corpses and containers, harvesting plants, lockpicking doors and chests, activating levers, praying, drinking potions, eating food, equipping armor, and even opening your map. Whew, that's a lot. Those are just some of the animations that will now play when you perform those actions. Unfortunately, you can't fully enjoy those animations when a menu pops up, so we're going to install SkyrimSouls. SkyrimSouls keeps your game from pausing in the background when a menu pops up, much like Fallout 76 or any of the Souls games. When you're at the dentist, unless you're an absolute psycho, your thoughts probably don't sound like this. The doctor did not give you enough numbing liquid. A stinging feeling in your mouth makes you uncomfortable. So why in Skyrim, when you contract a disease like rock joint, the description says, you are 25% less effective with melee weapons, instead of a more first-person friendly description like, the joints in my hands and feet have begun to ache and become stiffened, moving them deftly has become difficult. The mod first-person disease descriptions does exactly that. With the exception of vampirism and lycanthropy, all disease descriptions are replaced with your character's thoughts on how that sickness may actually make them feel. It removes mechanical descriptions like lockpicking and pickpocketing have become 25% harder, and it pairs perfectly with our next mod, Notification Overhaul. The mod changes most second-person notifications to first-person ones. Even quick-saving your game is different. Your character lives in the 4th era 201. He has no idea what a quick-save is, but he does know what scribbling down his progress is, which actually brings me to my next point. Now picture this, you spent a difficult day searching for treasure in an ancient Nord dungeon. As the sun sets, you sit around your campfire and think about how you'll tell your tale to future generations. You reach into your travel bag and pull out a journal that you never thought you would actually use, and you begin to tell your story. The mod Take Notes will let you write about your personal journey. You can tell your story, not just the Dragonborn story, through an actual autobiography that you can then export as a TXT file, and then you can add it to your blog, website, whatever. You may want to describe the terrifying sounds that you heard in the distance while picking a lock in a dungeon, wondering if it's even worth your time to be there. For many people, enhancing your audio is an afterthought, but I have to tell you, I really do think that this may be one of the most important parts of this video. Playing Skyrim, you can really become numb to the fact that your audio is just jammed into your ears with no thought at all. Immersive sounds adds thousands of new sounds that you may never notice, but it will enhance your experience. When you kill an NPC or a creature, you will no longer hear the same generic thud when they hit the ground. The sound you make when moving around now depends on the armor you wear and what surface you're walking on. Even picking up items sounds different depending on what you're picking up off that dirty dungeon floor. Sounds of Skyrim adds to this immersiveness by adding around 460 sounds. Those sounds can depend on the time of day, where you are at the time, and what the weather's like. A simple walk through a busy city like Solitude now will generate sounds like doors opening in the distance, children playing in the street, workers using their tools, and at night you can hear town dogs and cats getting into fights. True 3D sound for headphones does exactly what it sounds like it does, and enables 3D sound positioning in the game. The mod uses something called HRTF, or Head Related Transfer Function. You don't just hear a sound from the left or the right. That sound source on the right side of you bounces off dungeon walls and is absorbed by leather armor on the ground, and then it finally makes it to your ear. And that's what this mod will deliver to your headphones. Well guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. This one gave me hell on recording and editing for some reason, but it's finally uploaded regardless. By the way, the subject for this one came from you guys in the comments, so if you have any suggestions, put them down there and we'll see what we can do about them. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.